Hey, what's up, guys? We're here at Hook by Todd English. I'm with my friend Eric Dee. Eric Dee and I have been friends for how many years?
More than 8 years, 9, 10 years.
We were actually on the runway back then where we met. I remember it was his birthday. His birthday. So now Eric Dee is a restaurateur. He's very successful at it. He has multiple concepts. We're actually here at his first. What concept? What would you explain its concept? Hook by Todd English.
So Hook is first concept of its kind.
Okay.
So it was locally developed by us under the Todd English brand.
Great.
So what it is was what we've been doing with the Todd English Food Hall was because of its size, we wanted to really spin off the stations.
Got it.
So we took the stronger station, started off with Bound as our first one, and now we have Hook because of how much oysters we sell at the Todd.
So Hook is like a seafood.
So all seafood. So what we wanted to do was borderless seafood cuisine.
Yeah.
So you'll see executions that were made kind of like Western style, kind of like European style.
Perfect.
You'll see Chinese and Japanese executions as well. We serve kind of like 3-tier seafood towers.
Awesome.
Everything is seafood with probably a few meat items just for the meat lovers.
Perfect. So this isn't just your first concept with Todd English. Todd English, how many Todd Englishes do you have now? You have
So
concepts.
when we started about 3 years ago, we started with the Todd English Food Hall at SM
massive.
Quora.
That's a huge
like
venue.
900 square meters.
Yeah.
That's
Great success.
250 seats,
Yeah.
but a headache.
Got it.
Because
Yeah.
it's very difficult to manage for a first foray into suddenly something that's super big. That was a little bit stressful, but of course, kind of like we toughed it out.
Okay.
So when we started that, we already were executing in our heads kind of like what we wanted to do as an expansion to the brand.
So you were doing sub brands under it.
So we couldn't expand that 900 square meter and get another 900 square meter. Like I said, it was very difficult to manage just because of so much entities that have to go inside one whole food hall.
Now, what are the challenges with that type of size?
Well,
I'm gonna drink.
staffing.
This is alcohol.
So we need to we need some what do you call this, social lubricant. No, but so when we started the food hall, what's difficult was the size.
Okay.
We redesigned the food hall so that, well, in New York City, the food hall at the Plaza Hotel is actually different stations, different areas.
Got it.
That would be a little bit difficult if we did it that way because we'd had to staff all the areas.
Okay.
So what we did differently here at the food hall was we put a few kitchens all together
Right.
so that we could staff lean and kind of like
So
be
lean,
interchanging.
because you need the margins.
Yeah. You have to, it's all about two things. It's labor costs and food costs.
Okay, cool,
It's really
cool.
managing those things and making sure that they're at par with what you're taking in as far as.
So with this, you also have a burger bar you diffused as well.
Yes. So that one we called Bound.
Pound.
That serves
Amazing burgers.
Burgers. Straightforward burgers. We didn't want to have a big menu. In fact, we only have 4 or 5 items as far as the burgers are concerned. It's also simplified in the sense that we would want it to look nice but very affordable. So the branding.
So bougie on a budget.
Yeah. So basically. So Foodie Global Concepts. What we want to do is affordable luxury.
Affordable luxury.
So it's kind of like we give you all this, but we don't charge you
it's
for
Instagram friendly too.
Instagram friendly. Everything is designed now through the square.
Okay.
So we're looking at it. That's also one aspect
Yeah.
that's changed through the times is that looking at it at your corner. If I take a picture of you
Yeah,
right now, what elements are going to be in that
Aesthetics.
picture? So that's really a big influence in what we're doing now.
So when you design food, you also have to design the aesthetics.
Yes.
So okay.
The problem is sometimes working with architects where their main priority is aesthetics.
Of course.
As a restaurateur, my main priority is being able to be more effective. The processes are much easier, so it's combining those things. I'm having a hard time, like sometimes when I deal with my architect because he wants it to look like this, but it's like, but how can I pass there? Like this seating.
Got it.
This could be a little. Supposedly this was going to be tighter, and every time someone needs to go out, you have to all go out.
Of course,
right? So this is actually not a recommended seating if
So
you wanted to.
you have to look
So
at-
we had to balance it out. So my architect goes like, no, we have to have it. So I gave him a few spots that has the square ones, but this is the more effective one where you
Got
can
it.
exit on both ways.
So efficiency has to make sense.
So it has to be functional.
Okay.
That's the word I was looking for. Everything for the restaurateur has to be functional.
Functional.
Everything, that is our primary objective. Make it functional and cost effective. Right?
Perfect.
If what matters if I have a 16,000 peso chair versus a 3,500 peso chair. That is non-revenue generating.
So that's what
for
people
me.
get wrong. They
Yeah,
overspend
there's
on
so
the
much on
restaurant.
the parang they don't calculate, and that's where your ROIs become like longer because
Got
you're
it.
spending more, and that's what we've been learning also. We put into our first store, so like Pound, when we opened the first expansion of Pound, we put in so much money in there.
Uh-huh.
But now we're trying to cut back and seeing
You learn
like
from your
how can we
lessons.
work more efficiently, and how can we scale the size lower.
Okay.
You know, how can we make it smaller so that we're only having to lease exposure and then have just one aircon, and rather than having 2 people working, we only have 1 people working. So that type of efficiencies we're trying to solve. So now we're on our first 1.5 year with Pound. We're building 6 concurrently.
So the numbers really design on how you create others.
Yes.
Other
Because to
restaurants.
expand, we needed a value, like, you know, to budget every single store. How much a single store would be every time. So like now, I'm looking for, you know, we're building 6 restaurants. So how do we base that?
Got it. Okay. So next question. So as an entrepreneur, you had so many choices. You're doing retail, you're doing other things. Why food for you?
At an early age, I think I found what I'm passionate about.
Okay. What
I
age
think,
was that? Because
I
you
think-
went to college, right?
Yeah.
And you don't use
I
your
did
college
college,
degree.
and then like, you know, really nothing. Like
Yeah.
for me, that built structure. College and high school built structure. Kind of like being able to follow a certain 9 to 5 or waking up at 7:30 and following leaders.
Yeah.
Because in order for you to become a leader, you have to also experience becoming a follower.
Of course, student
right?
first.
Right? But there's two types of people: some leaders, some followers. Right? And that's where I think the school came in. But as far as what I'm doing on my day-to-day, I attribute that to my training with my dad and really like streets.
How old are
Like,
you?
The know-how. I'm 33.
And when did you start?
I started working in restaurants since I was 13.
So you're bussing tables.
So
you're,
I started as a busboy,
busboy, yeah.
dishwasher. Actually.
I don't know if they know what busboy. What is busboy?
No, dishwasher. So I started dishwasher actually.
Okay.
That was my first ever job. So my dad wanted me to do my summer job every time at the summer break. So that was 13 years old.
Yeah.
I did my first job in our own restaurant.
Got it. Which is that? What's the restaurant?
It was Kitchen.
Kitchen. Oh yeah. I remember
Kitchen,
that.
kitchen
Yeah.
in Greenbelt.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and that restaurant had a picture of my face.
Yes, I remember that.
So I had, a
This
picture,
food is-
I had a picture of my face. So how odd is that? So I was a dishwasher at first for mga 3-4 days.
Okay.
So I came home like my hands were all pruning up and like, dude, it was difficult.
Yeah.
Man. It was like washing, getting all that, dude. So I told my dad, I don't think I can do this anymore.
Yeah.
So upgrade now. So after dishwashing, I ended up doing cold kitchen, which
Cold kitchen is like
basically preparing salads, sandwiches, so paninis and salads at that time when we were doing kitchen. That was the type of food that we served. So salads and paninis. And then you kind of like upgrade to the hot kitchen. So the hot kitchen.
So
where
you're
you
actually
prepare-
cooking?
Yeah, you're preparing your. That time we had salmon belly with aligis sauce on
Yes.
pandan rice. We had kind of like a pork belly with kind of like, you know, a gochujang sauce.
You had a
So it was,
rendang or stew, remember
something
that?
like that. Super good stuff. So we had the duck adobo during
Yes.
that time. It was not being done already
yeah.
as how common it is now.
Yeah.
And then the main pinnacle of the summer job is becoming the waiter.
Oh, okay.
So that is
So you got
kinda
some
like,
showtime.
Yeah, so that's kind of like you're gonna be in front, you're gonna be selling to the customers, you're gonna be like chit chatting them. So that was kind of like the end of the line where you're gonna be a waiter. So that's when people were asking me, like, wait a minute, is that you in the picture
Yes.
on the walls? Like,
So
yes.
employee of the month.
I'm actually doing my summer job, so that was a really good experience, and I've been working in restaurants ever since. in that
Okay.
sense.
And you knew that was the thing for you.
Yeah, I grew up in it. Like really, when
You
my
didn't even think about
parents started
anything
the
else.
business, my mom was the cashier, my dad was the waiter.
Got it.
Where and I was working there.
Started
My
from the
barkada was the waiters. My barkada was the cooks. My mom would go like, oh, buy lapu-lapu. We'd go to the market and actually go
So,
buy lapu-lapu.
started
so
from
I
the
was
bottom.
exposed to that at the beginning.
Okay.
And then when we started, doing our thing, I realized that it's something that
Like,
I
this
feel
is it.
comfortable.
This is it.
Like whenever I'm in a restaurant, I feel most comfortable.
Got it.
Like I feel like I belong or know what I want to do,
Yeah.
know the things that I need to see, and that's why I think I excel at it.
Okay.
It's because I find it challenging and really do.
How did you know? When did you know when it was like, this is it? I want to go into creating concepts and building, my own thing.
Well,
Like
it
you
was
start at 13. Let's say when did life hit you and say, hey, this is what I want to do, Dad?
Well, I was always in the process of my dad when he was creating the restaurants. He would always bring us to the construction phase, to the
Got
menu
it.
development. So when he opened Mesa 7 years ago, I was part of the brand building. I was part of kind
Stealing
of like,
menus
you
around.
know, the menu development, the costing, and everything. We were all part of that. So it was a good experience. And then I like the creating part.
Yep.
I also like the challenge that, you know, every day the problems are very different.
Yeah.
Today, like, makunat yung chicken. Or
Okay.
tomorrow,
Don't you get
the
stressed about
taco
that?
is salty. Right? The taco is salty. Or makunat, like, the beef is chewy.
Uh-huh.
Right? And then one day, like, my in Shangri-La, the sky fell and water all came in.
Yeah,
Then
those
we
operational
had,
problems.
We had dinner service at that day of big event. So we were like,
So you can handle the stress.
oh crap. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you were not passionate about it,
Of course.
and if you were having downtimes with the thing that you're most passionate about and you feel like quitting, imagine if you hated what you did.
Yeah.
Imagine if you
hear
hated
that.
what you did.
So you need the passion for food. Okay. So now that you're building concepts and you're now doing scaled concept by 5 or 20, how do you choose a concept? So what do you look for?
So, because of the influx of the food industry now, there's so many brands that are
Philippines,
coming
yeah.
to approach us. So we get brand offers on a day-to-day basis.
So they know you're the shit.
I hope, right? I hope.
Yeah.
But oftentimes the reason where we have disagreements is like, you know, being too confident about a certain brand.
Yeah.
It has to jive with our current philosophy of being offering affordable luxury.
So you really you stick to the
Yeah,
values.
it has to be value.
Yeah.
Even our expensive projects or even our projects that are supposed to be high end are still on the affordable range.
It's like you would say like if anyone can.
Yeah, we're allergic to expensive.
Okay, you're allergic to
So we
expensive.
try to stay as close to.
So price
value
point
as
is
possible.
very close to your heart.
Yeah.
Because you know how hard it is.
You know, Philippines, we're in a third world country.
Correct.
Our
Of
middle
course.
class is definitely growing.
Yeah.
But everyone is very price sensitive. You know,
Of course.
you'll see the increments. You know, the further away you get from that 50 peso mark, the smaller your market gets.
Got it. Yeah.
Right? As opposed to kind of like sometimes when you go you know, here the more expensive you go, the smaller your market gets. You know, the further away from 500 you go, the significant change.
So you reverse engineer on like, I gotta stay within 150 per meal or 1 to 200.
But you have to understand what the people are willing to pay for.
Of course.
And then
you test it. You have to test it. Okay.
So we start small projects. We look into the price. We competitor check. I think that's important.
So you do competitor
Yeah,
checks.
definitely, for sure.
Got it.
I think that's the most important, actually. You know, we as a group, you know, despite us being one of the bigger ones, we feel that, you know, there's so much new game.
Yeah.
There's so much new players. There's so much, you know, new people that are bringing so much input into the food industry that it's always good to competitor check. Just kind of like pricing. How are they pricing, right? The newer things, you know, the hipper things, you know, who's the clientele? How are you gonna serve the millennials? How are you gonna, you know, having internet? You know, that was not a cost before.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That was not a cost before. Now what? Internet, you have to do your online marketing, you have to have your Instagram, your budget for Facebook posting,
branding,
those
PR.
are not part of the business before.
So you build it now into the business.
So now it's like also learning. Like my dad's coming from an old school perception, I'm coming from a new school perspective. So explaining to him SEO was a difficult task.
Okay.
Right? How paying for a word.
Yeah.
Right? You know, giving value to a word, because if you want to be coming out as best restaurant in the country, you pay for those words, right?
Yeah.
Which is a little bit more difficult once it creates that, like, you know, like best restaurant, you know, it's, you know.
Of course. Also, it's really like you look for keywords.
So, so come here, like, you know, investing into SEO, explaining to him like how to invest into SEO is a little bit difficult. You know, social media. My dad doesn't have social media. So also being able to explain to him the analytics, like what are we benefiting from social media. So now we're creating videos, we're creating content. So it's a different world altogether.
So you're kind of positioning now, like when you do a restaurant, you're kind of like a media company, because you've got to build your visuals.
You're like, it has to be a holistic
content.
Everything. It has to be everything.
Yeah.
Before you can get away with just good food.
Now it's like you have to.
Before you can just get a sarap pagkain mo, your food's good. Boom.
And now that's in your business plan.
Now it's like you have to think about, okay, where's your location? How much is your price? Who is your market?
Launch, parking.
Is this gonna be something that it'll be for 5 years? Because a lot of people, I think, that think of restaurants nowadays come in and like have a 2-year plan.
Oh yeah.
Right?
What is your plan timeline?
Like, we're here for the long run, and that's what we've been telling a lot of our partners, is that I think in the food industry, it is difficult to make it a sideline because of the inputs that you need.
Yeah.
It's such a hands-on type of work.
So when you say long term, it has to be this restaurant's lasting going to be 15 years.
Yeah, so we're not going to think about like, okay ba to in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
No, we're looking like we want it
Timeless.
to be like timeless, right? You know, our Mesa brand has been closest to our heart because we developed that as a local brand. Filipinos love it. We're now, exponentially growing on our expansion level, and it's something that's, rather than sales going down, the trend of this sales is going up.
Got it. Okay.
Right? Because that's what shows that you're not trendy, and you're kind of like
So trendy can also mean it's not successful.
because a trendy might be just for that time,
Okay.
But also trends also can come back, right?
I agree.
Like
Also
for
in the bar
example,
business.
yogurt.
Yeah.
Yogurt before was
When froyo was hot,
all the
Zagu?
froyo that was hot before, and then now it was gone. And then when Yao started to come in,
Yeah.
it reinvigorated the brand again. So
There are cycles.
There's cycles like before. Ice Monster.
Yeah, yeah.
So the Ice Monster had those ice shaved things, and then it was gone.
Now
and now
it's
you
just-
come in all the
What's that
Korean
bean?
the Bing suits,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's hot. Okay.
So it's really being able to capture it at that right time also. I
So
guess.
let's say I know a lot of people because on my Facebook, this is what they say. I don't want to invest. I want to do a food cart. I want to own a food business. What are tips for restaurateurs or people who want to go into food before they just throw the money? Because they're like, oh, this franchise is, I won't say a name, 500,000 pesos. But I always reply to them, don't forget operations, don't forget, skill set, and don't forget cash flow. Because sometimes they plan just for the franchise cost, but they don't have money for 12 months or 6 months operation costs.
It's like, a lot of the times when you go to these franchise conventions, they will tell you, your ROI in 6 months, your ROI in, may nagkaroon kami ROI in 3 months. I'm like, okay, yes, that's case-to-case basis.
Yeah.
Those are for people who are just into that, like, I have money now.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to invest into something, but without really knowing. But sa pag sinabing 3 months, kala niya, okay, 3 months yan na. And then they actually come back to you in 3 months, sabi mo 3 months.
And they get I'm scam. This is a scam.
I'm like, okay, ROI is not like a science. Like, okay, sure, ka 3 months, right? It's really about your location.
Location.
If your
is
location
key.
was in, it might be beside each other, but you could be, Mall B and Mall A.
So you're looking at malls. So mall developers also the like
Also,
who are at the mall.
so ano pa lang added cost is your payment to the malls, your deposits.
That's about a year, 4 years.
It's like that's 2 months.
Advance 2 months rental.
Yeah.
Plus, if they don't pay them, you get cut off. Any late payments. So you really think location is key. Also, the relationship with the mall.
Definitely, location is. As anyone would say, location.
So 50%, I would say.
Despite of you having a strong brand, it would not hurt for you to put it right in smack of the middle of where everyone walks.
So location.
Even though it's hard. Like some of the leasing will tell you, you open up a Todd English, everyone will come. You know? It's like build it and you will come. So it actually doesn't happen that way. Like build it and they will come type of thing. Like sometimes.
So promote it first.
Right. So for me, it's it's not. It doesn't always work that way. So despite us having brands that are known, we still position them at the nicest possible.
So you need to
location.
get like walking areas.
Yeah, high traffic.
High
For the
traffic.
most high traffic, and whether that
quality
traffic
market.
is actually your market.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Cool.